Yo, yo, what's good, family? This is Football Unfiltered, and tonight we're not doing the polite takes. The Finalissima is officially canceled. Argentina versus Spain, champion versus champion gone. So, what does that say about the sport heading into the World Cup? Is just scheduling, or is just bad look for the game?
And it gets even deeper. We've seen a lot of good top country dropping out for obvious reasons. We're heading for more chaos in 2026. Is it film walking? Then we're going to the Champions League. It's heating up. The English clubs have been looking shaky. Is it the end of the Premier League run in Europe era?
So is it because we don't have any heavyweight coaches in England right now? Also, let's talk about Italy, man. Italian team have been a disaster in Europe. What's really going on? So lock in, drop your artist takes in the comments as we talk. Bad look or big deal. Let's get it. So I'm your host, Carl Philip, and then I have with me Alain Leveillé. What's going on, my brother?
I'm doing great, coach. How about yourself?
I'm doing well, man. I'm doing well. Such a blessing to be here today. But let's get going, man. So as we mentioned earlier, the Finalissima is officially canceled today. So the game was supposed to be played between Argentina and Spain, champion of Europe and the champion of America. So they were supposed to play for the Finalissima. The game was supposed to be played in Qatar, but due to safety reasons, the game has been canceled. Also, they couldn't find a venue to uh, to play the game at a different venue, either in Europe or wherever. So let's kind of talk about this a little bit. Obviously, so what I mean, obviously, this is the year of the World Cup. What does it mean to the World Cup? So when you have a game was supposed to be a dress rehearsal for the World Cup coming in, and the game is canceled. So what does it mean for the World Cup?
Well, coach. I think it's this World Cup is gonna be kind of different a little bit because obviously let's there's some turbulence, I will say, happening right now. Unfortunately, the game was to be played in Qatar, like you said, and whether for logistical reasons or for security reasons, like we can't have the game anymore. I think right now, maybe it's a blessing in disguise where it's the way I look at it is like, okay, maybe the players don't have to risk getting injured, and
Yeah,
and maybe that's a blessing. I think it's great for the sport to have you who who would not like to see Argentina play against Spain, right? You have Messi on one side and Lamine Yamal on the other side. But then again, we've been talking for the last few weeks about injuries, making sure that our players are in top shape. Will be so they could play in the World Cup, so they could be ready to win this tournament. And
yeah.
is it really necessary this year to have this game? For me, I don't think so, and I think it's probably a blessing in the sky that they're not gonna have that game. Again, the reasons are for security reasons, which honestly we want everything to get settled in the part of the world as quickly as possible. But I feel like maybe they didn't need have to have that game.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the game is for the fans, right? And like you said, everybody would like to see Messi play against Lamine Yamal and Argentina and Spain is always and people would look like, okay, is this what's gonna happen in the World Cup? But and they're always looking at this game as a dress rehearsal for the World Cup to see how both teams gauge themselves. But like you said, we're right in the middle of the Champions League right now. That's just another game to add, and obviously, is everybody gonna try to be competitive and be champion. So I think that from from a logistics standpoint, that makes sense not to play. For logistics standpoint, that makes sense for both teams not to play the game, so they don't have to worry about it. So for now, I mean, Argentina, for instance, Argentina will not play any game in March. So so those guys gonna be fresh for another month, and also Now we got the Champions League, so those guys would play the Champions League. They have the local league, plus they have to travel to play that one game. So I agree with you. I think that at the end of the day, I don't think anybody aside the fans to really want to see how those teams fare against each other. I mean, it's not a big loss, and I think the fact that we right in the middle of the Champions League, so we're really not gonna miss anything uh, when it comes to this game. But obviously, this is the World Cup year, and that's the last thing you don't want to hear going into the World Cup is games being canceled because that type of reason. You see what I'm saying? So we just kind of bring a segue to the next conversation. One of the team in Iran that is qualified for the World Cup has dropped out, for obvious reason. So now, is it? I know we understand why they drop out, but do you feel like it's gonna be a trend for in the coming weeks and coming months that teams might not feel safe and then they don't want to participate in the World Cup? So, what's your take on that?
I don't think so, Coach. I think Iran has dropped out for obvious reasons, like you said, but I don't think like we'll have other teams dropping out. For the simple reason is that the World Cup is a one in a lifetime opportunity. You have a World Cup once every 4 years, and the probability that you have a player playing a second World Cup, it's a pretty low probability, right? So you have those players, they get that one shot, that one opportunity to get on that global stage, make a name for themselves. First and foremost, put themselves in a position where they can win the World Cup for their home country. They get to play for their country. They get to represent themselves. They get to represent their family members. So that's a big deal. That's a huge deal. I think the World Cup in the United States, I think will be safe. I believe that the federation, the government is doing everything that they can to make sure that players and fans feel safe. So I feel like it's gonna be a great festivity here in the United States. So I'm disappointed that Iran has dropped out. We can understand why, but I don't foresee this becoming a trend. I know we're just pretty much 3 months away from the World Cup. Everybody's excited. Everybody wants to see this tournament launched. We just can't wait. So I'm feeling pretty good about it personally.
So this is the this is a political way to put it, Alan. So well said. But let me ask you another question. So obviously, the World Cup is in the U.S. and this is an extended World Cup when it comes to team participating in the World Cup. Uh, but one thing, especially us, we live in the U.S. Do you feel the vibe that we only 3 months away from the World Cup? I don't know if it's because the prices of the tickets, but for some reason, I'm not feeling the vibe. Especially being only 3 months away from the World Cup, I'm not feeling it.
Well, I'm not sure what kind of vibe you're talking about. The market dictates the prices. I'm personally was looking forward to be able to attend a few games. But you're right. I think the pricing strategy it's a little bit out of range for the average Americans and average fan suckers. It's very for average soccer fans. I think they're kind of pricey. I'm not sure what the strategy is. I'm not sure if there'll be a way to help bring those prices down so average fans can actually attend those games. I think that's the part that I'm a little bit disappointed. A lot of my friends, we were looking forward to get part of that lottery system and hopefully get some tickets, but it's still early. Things happen. You just never know. I feel like as we get closer to the World Cup, based on how things could look in terms of supply and demand, I'm hoping that we'll have more. friendly prices around the tickets. But as far as excitement and for the World Cup, listen, let's be honest here. There's a lot happening in the world right now. There's a lot of events happening
So like
beyond sports, right? This is beyond sports, so we cannot be oblivious to what's happening around the world. And I think probably for now, those events have taken a front stage to the World Cup. But I'm hoping that we'll get in a situation where hopefully things will settle down. We can put focus on the World Cup and kind of celebrate this great sport that we love dearly.
yeah, I mean, for me, I think that when it comes to the game, uh, with no doubt, I think the game's gonna be the World Cup's gonna be happening, but the part that I'm kind of worried about is the fans' experience. I mean, if you've been traveling lately, I mean, going to the airport, it's like a mess right now, with long lines and not enough TSA agents, and because of that, it makes traveling very, very, very difficult. And obviously, the whole experience of the whole vibe of what World Cup is to fly, is to go different places. So I just would like to see if they take that into consideration, because it's not about the game itself. Obviously the player is gonna be just fine. They have their own private jet. They have the country. They have their own stuff going on. But we just gotta make sure that for the average fans, for people flying to different airport, the experience is favorable for them, because obviously the last thing you don't want to do is just get stuck in airport for a long time, or you try to get some connecting flights and you miss your flights because of all this. So hopefully, like I said, we still got time. Hopefully those things get solved sooner or later, because like I said, the World Cup is one thing about team performing, but it's also about the fans, and we just want to see that the fans have a great experience and they can enjoy it, because it's a big party. It's the world party, so, and just
Yeah.
imagine the whole world coming and party. And then it's, I mean, for people that've been to World Cups before, or people that never been in World Cup, it's, if you've been to the World Cup, it's the biggest party. It's the biggest party. You have the fan, every city, they have every host city, they have like a fan base when the fans can go and hang out, even if they don't go to the game, but they just go and they have big screen outside when people are watching the game and having a great time. And so we just want to make sure that the fans have the opportunity to have a great experience, and enjoy the World Cup the way they wanted to do it. So anyway, like I said, we're still early, so hopefully things gets resolved sooner or later. But so we'll see. We'll see what happens. Just like you said, there's there's a lot of important things happening in the world that
I mean,
nobody talks about. That's more
let,
important than soccer.
let me give you an example. I mean, I think a month ago we had a situation down in Mexico,
Yeah.
and we had some concerns about those games in Mexico. And I know some folks were talking about, hey, are we going to have those games being canceled in Mexico and being, probably being scheduled here in the States? And it sounds like the Mexican government was able to get things under control. And the president said the other week or a couple of weeks ago, yep, everything's on schedule. They've took the proper measures to ensure that all the fans will be in a safe environment. Everything will be secured, and we are go. So yes, there's a lot of stuff happening today, but I'm confident that as we get closer to the World Cup, all of our responsible parties will will take the necessary steps to guarantee that this big party happens in a safe and secure environment for the world to witness.
No, completely agree with you. So let's change tunes now. Champions League, right? So obviously we had round of 16, the first games of all the round of 16 play last week, and we saw some big losses. And when you look at it, and we're just gonna focus mostly on the English clubs, they did not fare really well. I mean, Chelsea got killed by PSG 5-2. Also, Man City got destroyed by one player, Valverde, 3-0 against Real Madrid. I mean, Liverpool lost 1-0. Was it no? Did they lose 1-0 or they tie?
They
No, they
lost one
lost. They
zero.
lost. No, they lost.
Get
Yeah, they
get
lost one
Galatasaray.
zero.
Yeah,
Yeah, they lost 1-0. Arsenal tie 1-1,
yeah.
and then
Newcastle tie 1-1 with
Newcastle
Barcelona.
won 1-1 with Barcelona. So, uh, what's going on with the English? What's going on with the English clubs, man? What's going on with them?
Nothing's happening with them, coach. The Premier League is still the richest league in Europe, right? They had six teams in the round of 16. Six teams. Okay. They had a bad first leg. That happens. That happens, you know. Maybe coaching was poor. They didn't have the right coaching plan for those games. And now it's the second leg. We have to see if those guys are going to step up. I think they're still talented teams. I was shocked to see, the game against PSG, how PSG beat Chelsea. I know we talked about this game last week when I told you, hey, if Dembele doesn't play with all those injuries that team had, I was concerned. I thought that Chelsea was able to do a repeat of what they did last year, but you could tell like the moment the game started, PSG had a game plan. They were rightly coached. Like they've learned from their mistakes from last year's final World Cup game, and they came in, right then in the beginning, being very attacking. Dembele had an amazing game, scored like beautiful goals. It was an amazing game. I was very, very, very impressed. So yeah, I don't think it's the end or it's the end of the world. They just had a bad first game. We just have to. They're gonna go back to the drawing boards, learn from their mistakes, and come up with better game plans for next week.
Yeah. So one thing I would say though, yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. I mean, obviously, they had a first bad week, but one thing I'm, I've been watching the EPL a lot, and we used to have all the best coaches playing in the coaching in the EPL. I mean, outside of, and when I say that, I'm talking about known coaches, like Pep Guardiola obviously still there. I mean, Mourinho, was there. Conte was there. Jurgen Klopp was there. Pochettino was there. Obviously, if we want to go all the way back with Arsene Wenger and Sir Alex Ferguson. So I mean, there were times that the greatest mind were coaching over England, but when you're looking at right now outside the Pep and Arteta, that is still that coach Arsenal, but even Arsenal hasn't won anything lately. So are we seeing that the decline of the really great minds that we used to have in England, or they're just going through a phase right now? So, what you think about that?
I mean, I don't know if there's a decline because they have a strong bench. I mean, people come, people go. That's the nature of life. That's the cycle. You had great talent for an era, and you're gonna have new talent. Bottom line is the EPL is one of the most successful leagues in Europe. They're gonna continue to have good coaches. They're gonna continue to have good players. When you look at the English players, they're playing quite well. You look at what they're doing in Real Madrid, you look at what they're doing all over Europe, they're pretty strong. England has a very good team. They're not an easy team to beat. We're going to have a great chance to see how they perform in the World Cup this year. So I will not panic on this. I still feel like, anything can happen. Arsenal looks solid. Again, it's like let's see how those tournaments finish. Let's see how they come back, how they play. What if we end up having a English team win, you know, the Champions League? Then what? What we're gonna say? Oh wow, if the EPL was it was predictable because they have the best coaches, the best players. Like I said, it's like I'm not panicking. I don't think it's the end of the rope here. I think they have a breadth of talent. They're pretty deep. They have great players, and I think they'll be fine.
So I'm gonna put you on the spot here. So out of all the six teams playing the round of 16, who you think's gonna move on to the quarterfinal? Who'd be your pick to move on to the quarterfinal?
Ha. Well, PSG is moving.
No, I'm talking about
Uh,
the English team, man. English team.
oh. Well, let me see.
Arsenal.
Arsenal, Arsenal for sure.
Liverpool only lost 1-0, so they still can come back. They still can come back and win the second leg. I think the first game was away, wasn't it, for Liverpool? I
Yeah,
can.
Liverpool lost 1-0. Um, Newcastle is like tied 1-1 though.
Yeah,
why we not thinking that Newcastle can beat Barcelona in the next game?
no, they can beat Barcelona. But the only thing I would say though, uh, it's gonna be tough to beat Barcelona at home, especially the way Barcelona played today against Valencia, Sevilla. So it's gonna be very tough. I think Newcastle had that game won, but for some reason they make like a dumb play at the end and awarded a penalty to Barcelona to tie the game. But I think so. One thing I would say though, when you play at home, you try to run up the score as much as possible because it doesn't because away goals don't matter anymore because it's whoever had the
Oh,
most goals that's who pass. So that's why I believe that when you play at home and then you protect your home field and then you try to score like as many goals as you want you can score, it's easy for you. So that's one thing I feel like the Newcastle. But you're right, you don't win games on paper, you actually win games on the field. So they might go back and shock Barcelona at their home. But I think right now Arsenal probably it's probably better suited, have the better chance to move on. I think Chelsea and Man City because of the opponents, it's harder for them to kind of come back and win. But you never know. Especially you lost 3-0, so you have to win 4-0. For Man City and for Chelsea, they have to win the same thing 4-0 in order for them to move on. So I don't know. It's a tall
I don't
order for those
know.
two teams. It's a tall orders for those two teams. So I feel like, yeah, you're right. I think Liverpool still have a chance because they only lost 1-0, and obviously Arsenal and Newcastle they didn't lose, so they're still in it.
Yeah, it's not over, man. It's like with soccer. Look at Real Madrid, what they did. I mean, I told you they were gonna lose, right? I told you if they didn't have Mbappe, hey, and then Valverde comes back and then and then give the performance of his life. It's like,
He's,
who would
he's
have
still
thought
score,
that?
he's still scoring goals. I mean, this weekend it was on fire. This weekend,
He was on fire. Where's that kid coming from? Does he have like 8 goals now for the Champions League, or
I don't
seven
know.
or 8 goals? It's like I don't understand. This guy was on fire. The goal that he scored like this week is like, what is going on here? Now my
Yeah.
question is, do we need Mbappe in Real Madrid? Maybe Mbappe is the problem. I don't know. We have
I
to
don't
see.
know. Only time will tell.
I don't
All right.
know.
So we just talk about the English side. Now let's go let's go to Italy, man. What you know, I mean, this one is more is that's I think we gotta look into deeper when it comes to Italy, right? So first off, they have to play a playoff games to try to get to the World Cup, and then all the teams they have no team left playing in the Champions League. I mean, what? Okay, can I ask you that question one more time? What's going on in Italy?
Man, that's a very good question because I'm shocked. Because growing up, coach, I have to be honest with you,
Oh yeah.
Italy was the place to play.
Hmm.
El Calcio was a tournament. Now El Calcio was the tournament to be in. They dominated soccer for decades. Every major player played in Italy. And then all of a sudden, we had a lot of financial issues. There were gambling issues. There's a lot of stuff that happened over the years, and it
Yep.
seems like they've been never been able to recoup from that. And then they go from a year winning, the European tournament as a nation, and they don't qualify for the World Cup. You
It's
know,
funny. It sounded like it wasn't long ago. That
it
was
wasn't long ago.
they won in 2021.
Yeah,
They won in 2021. So that was 5 years ago. But and then they missed the World Cup the
22
following
World Cup
year. Yeah.
by Macedonia. It's like they couldn't beat that team. Like they were like a goal away from qualifying. They couldn't seal the deal. And now
Yep.
Italy, which their reputation still is not qualified for the World Cup. So I'm thinking, is it because now they're paying for all those financial issues, debt burden that's happened over the years, over a couple of decades now? Is it a capacity issue? Are the clubs well financed? Are the clubs attracting the same talent level that they used to attract back in the days when we were watching soccer, right?
Hmm.
So is it a talent issue? Is there financial issues? Is there corruption issues happening in Italy? You know, causing the game to lose its value. And now you're seeing the repercussion at the club level and the national level. That's what I'm thinking is happening. I'll let you share your thoughts, but it doesn't look good to me because that's not normal that a nation like Italy is at risk of not going to a World Cup for the second World Cup in a row. Makes no
Yeah.
sense to me.
That would be the third World Cup. Because if they miss it, that's gonna be the third World Cup missing it. Because they missed 2018. They missed 2018 World Cup in Russia. They missed the 2022 World Cup in Qatar. And if
Oh,
they don't
wow.
go this year, that's gonna be three World Cups in a row. Yeah,
Wow.
I think a lot of things that you said is very. I don't think I don't think there's one real reason. So, and then I'm not gonna talk about the financial aspect. I think it plays a role as well too. But I'm gonna talk about purely from a footballing aspect. So one thing I would say that the next generation of Italian, uh, I think it's a talent issue. So when you think about it, there's so many players. All the greatest generation of Italians. We're talking about Del Piero, Totti, Gattuso, and all those guys that won the 2006 World Cup. That generation, right? I felt like that generation played forever. And I think that generation played forever. And because of that, they thought that those guys gonna keep playing, and then they never looking at the next generation of players that's gonna take over. And I think that's what you see. That's what I'm seeing with Italy. So it just for some reason you be like, man, they're missing Del Piero, but Del Piero retired a long time ago. They're missing Totti, but Totti retired a long time ago. So you never saw the next generation of players when those guys that was like, man, those guys gonna take over in a couple years. I can see those talents. So I think that there's a talent issue, and also when you're big. when your big clubs are not as dominant that they used to be, I think that played a big role. When Italy was good, Juventus was the best team, right? And then
Mm-hmm.
what when you look at it is Juventus hasn't been the best team in a long time. So, and I think, and then also when you're looking at one thing that Italy is doing, even the Juventus of the world, it's not like the team is full of Italian. So, and I think Juventus stay away from getting Italian. They were buying a bunch of foreigners to play, like Ronaldo was playing at Juventus. What's his name? Played for Argentina. Can't think of his name. But I mean, they were buying a lot of those players. So because of that, they did not, they did not develop those Italian talent. So what you were saying with Juventus and AC Milan, they mostly have a bunch of foreigners playing for them. Back in the days, the team was mostly Italian,
Mm-hmm.
right? They were mostly Italian, and then they have a couple foreign players playing for them. But now it's the opposite. So I don't know if that's a reason that the Italian are not developed, properly, and that's what you see. I mean, when you think about it, let's flip to like for instance, Spain. When you're looking at the Barcelona team, most of the team are Spaniard, right? Most of the team are Spaniard in Barcelona. So Real Madrid is different, but they have a lot of guys playing, also Spaniard playing in Real Madrid. But we're looking at Barcelona team. I mean, outside of Rafinha, Lewandowski, and Kunde, uh, Frankie De Jong. The rest of the team are mostly Spaniard. Lamine Yamal is from Spain. Pedri, Gavi, Dani Olmo, uh, Balde. So the majority of the team are from Spain. So you can see that's why Spain is so strong because all those guys are playing and playing at the highest level. So that's what I see with with Italy. It's just like, I mean, I can't even, I don't know who's the best Italian player right now in the world right now. I don't even know. So that's one thing I saw, that they held on those guys for so long. And, even Buffon was the goalkeeper for the longest, right? So, I mean, I think right now the best Italian player is Donnarumma, the goalkeeper. I mean, he's the best Italian. And then also one thing I saw with Italy, Italy is lacking identity. You know, when you and I we watch, Italian soccer, it was all about defense, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you could not beat the Italian defense. Those guys were so strong. I mean, that's what Italy is known for. I mean, they
Yep.
won the World Cup because of the defense. Even in 2021, when they won the Euro,
Mm-hmm.
it's because of great defense. But now, when you see Italy play, you don't even know what their identity is. So I think that's one thing I'm seeing is a lack of identity, and because maybe the lack of identity because of a lack of talent. So, but yeah,
Hmm.
it's crazy to think that a four-time champion, four-time champion, uh, it's on the verge of missing
Wow.
the World Cup for third time in a row. So
I don't think they will though, coach. I think they'll make it this time. It has to. They will make it.
I don't know. You got a team that got drop out. Maybe maybe they find a way to sneak
Exactly. They will
Italy
sneak
in.
Italy. Exactly.
You got a team that
Yeah.
got dropped out, so maybe they find a way to sneak in Italy. But yeah, it's yeah. I mean, like I said, we are football fans first, and then we like to see great teams, and we've been, and like you said, we were watching the Calcio when we were young, and to
Hmm.
see Italy, the team that's known for pride and defense. I mean, they love. I mean, those guys they play. They would die on the field. That's the
Hmm.
way they play. They would die. I mean, they were pretty. They're a bunch of pretty boys with long hair, but those guys were mean. They were some mean guys,
It was
man.
tough.
You got Cannavaro, Costa Curta, Maldini, Nesta. Man, those guys got Tuso. Uh, uh, man, those guys. And then you got
Baresi, Franco
Baresi
Baresi.
back in the days. And then you got
Yeah.
Totti. You got Del Piero. You got Inzaghi.
Yeah.
What's that guy? Master, the guy that make what's his name? Zidane headbutt him. Is it Matarazzi?
Materazzi.
Materazzi?
Materazzi.
Yeah, man, those guys, man,
Yeah.
they were mean, man. They did not play around. So hopefully Italy can get it together and get ready and play in the World Cup. I know Italy. That's my dad' favorite team. So
Oh, really?
uh,
I didn't know that.
yeah, that's his favorite team. So we'd like to see Italy in the World Cup. So hopefully they can make it, and so everybody can enjoy watching Italy playing in the World Cup. So anyway, so let's talk about rapid fire here. So Ali, so we talk about the Finalissima cancel. Is the bad look or big deal? What you think?
I think I think it's more of a responsible decision. It's the
Okay,
right decision.
it's the right decision. So another rapid fire. So out of all the English teams that's gonna play in the second week of the round 16, what team you think have the best chance to move on?
Arsenal.
All right. So the last thing we're gonna talk about: will Italy make the World Cup?
Yes.
All right. Good.
Yes.
All right. So so I think that was a good one. So Ali, you wanna close it out?
Yes, yes. Again, guys, thank you for joining us tonight. It was fun. Like I said, there's a lot of things happening in the world today, in the world of sports, in arts. Tonight we have the Oscars happening, which is great for those movie fanatics out there. But also, we love sports. We have the World Cup still happening in the next 3 months. A lot of news happening. We're still are hoping that all of our major players will be in top shape for the World Cup. I'm still not seeing Mbappe playing. I hope everything is okay. I'm reading online that Neymar it could be part of the team, and apparently he's been called to be part of the a friendly game. I don't know. I also saw something about Neymar being hurt and injured last week. So I don't know what the coach is doing. I know we're not talking about Neymar tonight, but I just wait to throw this out there to you, coach. I don't know what the coach is thinking. This guy needs to not be on the team, but that's a whole different conversation. So that's why next week, if you come to our show, we'll have more details and talk more about Brazil and Neymar and what's happening. Is the Seleção ready for the World Cup? All right. So great night. Thank you for joining. I'll hand over to you, coach.
All right, so a couple of things I want to say. So you see me rocking the Football Unfiltered hat. So if you want to get one hat like that, so you can go to www.fitdatcommunity.com, and we there's a 2026 World Cup fever. So you would see this hat, and also I'm rocking the for the Haitian national team. So there's a say called Moué Nous Fait Encore. So if you want to get your shirt ready so you can go cheer on the Haitian national team this summer, also you can go to www.fitdatcommunity.com and go to the section 2026 World Cup Fever. So you get the Haitian shirt, and also you can get the Football Unfiltered shirt, and also the hat. So yep. So please go and check it out. Also, If you missed this show tonight, we are also on YouTube. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel, Football Unfiltered. We also on Spotify. Also, this show gonna be on Spotify as well too, for you to catch at any time. On Spotify, also Football Unfiltered. So it's been fun. Thank you guys for uh, being with us tonight. And don't forget to drop a comment, a like. Also, we want to hear from you, especially for the topics that we talked tonight. Who you think gonna move on from the English clubs to the quarterfinals? Also, will Italy make the World Cup? And then let's keep having fun. All right. See you guys. And if you're gonna watch the Oscar, go check it out.